This is Dan Cesere. I'm here in the Galapagos. We've been getting a lot of questions in this trip about lighting and strobes underwater. A lot of people don't realize, if you're not a diver, that you lose color. In the first 5 feet, you lose red completely. And you start losing colors the deeper you go down. So we bring these big underwater strobes. It's basically like bringing the sun with you. So that's how you can get true reds, true blues, true greens, all these kind of pretty colors. One good example of when strobes would have worked for me and when it didn't work out is, usually I have my strobes at a certain setting at a higher power, but I was taking pictures of this big school of jacks, which are silver, and if your strobes bounce off, it gets super reflective and it gets blown out. So I had my strobes turned down real far so I could get the silver in the jacks. And then 2 seconds later, a hammerhead came by, and I'm like, thinking I'm having this sweet hammerhead going right over my head, but because my strobes weren't high enough, it's just a silhouette shot. You can really see the difference in the two pictures here. This one I took with no strobe because they were turned down, and this next one here I took with strobes where they needed to be, and you'll see the difference. One of the biggest things about strobes is you have to be close. Even if you have powerful strobes, they're not really going to go past 3 or 4 feet. So being close and lighting your subjects is astronomical. The only time you're really not going to use strobes is if you're really shallow. Maybe if you're snorkeling and you're not even going to dive down, if you're just going to stay right at the surface. The other thing you do have to think about, strobe arms can be cumbersome in strong currents. They can move around on you if they're not tightened down strong enough, and they can act as drag. So sometimes we say, hey, if you're having trouble staying in your spot and good with your buoyancy, maybe take your strobes off and just use the camera on itself to kind of get comfortable before adding the light.